This is the legendary Royal Oak by Audemars Piguet. To some it's just a piece of steel, but to the watch world it's a holy grail that costs more than a brand new family car. The factory wants you to believe that only their elite technicians in white lab coats are allowed to touch it. They say a backstreet watchmaker such as me couldn't possibly handle the complexity. Well, today we're going to see if this high society timepiece will survive a session on the naked watchmaker bench. Greetings good people, and a very warm welcome to you all. Now I have some regular trade clients, including the Instagram generation watch flippers who bring me these really top tier Holy Trinity timepieces to prep for them before resale. And I tell myself and I tell them, why the bloody hell do you bring these really expensive watches to a fool like me? Pieces like this should be sent back to the factory, who will have all the correct proprietary tools and secret jigs and techniques required to finish these watches back to factory standard. But no, they need it done ASAP so they can flip it quick and move on to the next one. And these guys only deal with Pateks and APs, Rollies and RMs, which I don't always get to film, except for a few clips here and there to create a short, like I did with the 100 grand Patek and the Rosy Daytona. But some of yous weren't too pleased about the short format, so I cobbled together the footage I had for this one to give you a full widescreen experience, and to also show you how a holy grail watch like this can be restored by a balmy brummy with his crazy kids running around the place without the inaccessible jigs and secret techniques used by the factory. Even this crown tube needs a special tool made by AP. If the tube stays in, the finish on the outer case will never be perfect, and for a watch that costs as much as a house deposit, good enough just doesn't cut it. On most watches, a polish is just a clean-up. On a Royal Oak, it's a high-stakes rescue mission. Audemars Piguet would charge over £400 just to polish this piece, but if you take it to your mate Dave, who charges 50 quid, he's probably just going to polish the watch on a mop with the movement still inside. The Royal Oak is all about those sharp, crisp edges. They're supposed to be sharp enough to cut paper, so to do a proper job, the bazillion parts need to be dismantled. Doing it the £50 way means every scratch we remove brings us closer to rounding off a corner or an edge, destroying the value of this entire piece. And there is no Control Alt Delete or undo buttons here. And then there's the bracelet. Hundreds of tiny facets, each needing to catch the light at the exact correct angle. It's tedious, it's painful, and it's exactly why the quick flip traders bring it to a backstreet workshop. They know the factory will take 6 months. I've got to do it in a few hours without losing the soul of the watch. And just look at all those parts. And oh good lord, I think the previous owner was a chimney sweep. And now the factory would probably use a bazillion dollar lapping and polishing setup to get all these lines straight. But I've got my hands. The trick isn't just making it shiny, it's about maintaining the architecture of the case. We have to keep those vertical grains perfectly parallel while making the bevels scream. And now that I have used all the technological marvels and machines for the initial cutting and scratch removal, it's time to add some organized scratches by freehand. This bit is where I draw inspiration from the old timers who had special techniques of gripping and eyeing the piece as they carefully create those distinctive straight grains. But in an ideal world, these angles and lines should be done on special tables and belt sanders of various sizes and grits, which I don't have. I always explain the need for the right tool for the right job to my clients, and hence why I advise them to send it to the factory, because it's not always about how good someone is. Sometimes you just need the right tools to do a correct job. So without those tools, I have to use other methods, such as a flat piece of glass, some sandpaper, and inspiration from the old masters. Now I really think you will enjoy the next few tingly minutes in silence, but I'll see you before the end. I've run out of things to say anyway. Oh look, a little puppy has just wandered into my garden. I'll see yous in a bit. Well, it looked like a puppy from up here, but it was a grey squirrel. Now the bezel screws on a Royal Oak always have to be orientated in the correct manner to form a circle. And if one screw is in the wrong orientation, then it will stick out like a sore cold sore and people will chase me down the road. So to get it right, I use some sophisticated equipment such as tape to hold them in position while I screw them down from the back. And voila, there she is, from well used to factory fresh and smelling like a new car. The edges are sharp enough to cut through butter, the light is dancing off the bevels, and the overall geometry is preserved. $1 million result achieved with a bit of patience and some balmy brummy magic. If you enjoyed this one, then I think you will also enjoy some of these on screen now. Tra folks!